Welcome to the Power of Love show sponsored by the D.D. Jackson Foundation, where we shine a light on loss and grief and how it impacts our lives. We are here to provide hope, resources, and a community so no one feels alone in their grief. Enjoy the show. Welcome to the Power of Love show sponsored by the D.D. Jackson Foundation, where we shine a light on loss and grief and how it impacts your lives. I am TJ Jackson, and with me is Taj Jackson.
What's going on?
How are you, big bro?
Good. Doing well.
So for anyone who's watching this, of course, we are streaming live on YouTube and Facebook. And yes, I'm in a car. I was in studio. We're having internet issues there that we're going to get fixed soon, but the live show is now and the show must go on. We have a fantastic guest. So I came to, honestly, a local McDonald's and doing that thing where I'm stealing the internet. So
yeah, it's part of their policy, but yeah, I know. I know you're going to make a run for, to.
Taj Jackson, before I start asking you about your week, I do need to do a disclaimer. For anyone who may be watching this for the first time, we are not licensed therapists. We are just ordinary people who've experienced loss in our lives. We've been impacted by it and we've learned from it. If you need professional help, we urge you to seek it, and to find it, do not just rely on us. Of course, this show is all about trying to help you get through whatever situation you are going through. Any type of loss in life. It could be loss of a loved one. It could be loss of a job. It could be loss of a home. Just any significant loss. This is what we try to do at the D.D. Jackson Foundation. We are just two members of that foundation. There's a whole board that are striving to make life easier, and that's what we do here. Saying that, we also have a podcast where you could be listening to this on all available streaming platforms. I should say podcast platforms. That's the musician in me saying streaming platforms, but wherever you can get podcasts, you can check out us out there. And if you are listening to us on a podcast, make sure you subscribe. Taj Jackson, I guess we'll get straight into it. How was your week last week?
I don't know. I guess it was
good. Thanksgiving.
Was that Thanksgiving was last week?
Yes.
I didn't do anything for Thanksgiving, so.
You didn't do anything special. Was it because of COVID or?
Yeah, because normally, we'd go like either down to Laura's or Grandma's. Like we just chilled and took it easy because we had Taylor's birthday, a couple days before, and so didn't want to chance it too much because even that was very like small and everyone was wearing masks. But it's like I don't know. It was like almost like roulette, like just try spinning the dice a little too. No, spinning the wheel too much. I should say rolling the dice.
Diana has a question. She wants to know, why are you laughing? And that's actually a good question. Why are you laughing?
Why am I laughing? I'm in a good mood, just in general. I laugh when I'm in a good mood. Everything makes me laugh.
I'll take that. But I did notice, and I wanted to ask the same thing. And then there was one. Mac does.
You don't want to know why I'm in a good mood?
Why?
I don't know.
This is different for me.
You look like you're like on the run somewhere.
I feel like it.
The way you're looking is like you're gonna get hijacked. Like someone's gonna come out on live podcast and tell you to get out of the car.
I feel like someone from McDonald's is gonna come out and say, "Are you gonna order any food? What's going on here? We see someone stealing our internet."
Yeah.
Anyway, Taj, let's get into it. I'm going to say we, because I know you are as well. We are thrilled to welcome a great friend of the DDJF family back to the Power of Love show, Miss Lili DULAN. She has been here. This is her third time.
Mm-hmm.
She has been here for many different reasons. She's dealt with loss, losing her a precious daughter at a young age. She came back and did a show on the name work. Mm-hmm. Which is a deck of cards that are really instrumental for helping you heal. And now she is back to discuss a new book, which dropped yesterday. It's called Giving Grief Meaning, a method for transforming deep suffering into healing and positive change. Lili is a MFT psychotherapist with a master's degree in psychology and a master of fine arts in creative writing from Antioch University. Los Angeles. She played an instrumental role in starting the LGBTQ affirmative psychology specialization at Antioch University. She holds a Master's of Arts degree in teaching from Simon's College in Boston, Massachusetts, and she is a certified Heart of Yoga teacher. She studies spiritual coursework at Agape International Spiritual Center under the tutelage of Reverend Michael Bernard Beckwith. And we know him, Taj, right?
Yes.
From?
I don't know. I know the names. Huh?
The Secret, right?
Yeah.
I believe from The Secret.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, he has some great quotes in there. Anyway,
well,
Lily,
we're gonna I listened to the audio, so.
What's that?
I said you read the book. I listened to the audio.
And you watched the video, the movie of it.
Yeah.
Anyway, Lily drew on her studies of both Eastern and Western disciplines to create a heart-centered system of healing and moving through trauma that she calls the name work. After her first daughter, Kara Meyer Dulan, died at home from SIDS at 2 months old, Lily started a foundation in her child's memory called the Care Love Project. Beautiful. The Care Love Project has teamed with local, national, and international organizations such as the Unati Foundation in Nepal, Venice Arts in Los Angeles, and Foster Nation to serve a marginalized youth. It has also developed and supported programming to benefit the mental and physical well-being of seniors in LA County. Ms. Dulan facilitates the name work workshops and educational events in the greater Los Angeles area for universities, organizations, corporations, and small private groups. She lives in Los Angeles with her husband and 2 daughters. And without much further ado, what an intro that is.
I was gonna say, wow, it's like, yeah, I feel like I'm not doing anything.
But without much further ado, here to discuss her latest project, her book, Giving Grief Meaning. Please welcome back to the Power of Love show, Miss Lili DULAN. Lily.
Hi, you guys. It's so great to be here.
It is so good to have you. I want to thank you for being the patient person you are while I deal with my technical issues and do this from a McDonald's parking lot. But it's beautiful to have you. And when we're talking about grief and loss, it doesn't matter where we're at. We can always hear the message as it affects all of us. I want to say this real quick. For many of us, the upcoming holiday season will trigger feelings of stress, loneliness, grief, loss, and the new year will bring forth like a desire to make a lasting change. So how can your book, Giving Grief Meaning, help readers to work through such challenges?
Thank you. That is a great question. I believe the most beautiful part of the book is that it meets me where I'm at, it meets you where you're at, it meets the reader where he or she is at. And, you know, this is a hard time for all of us. This is a really, really difficult time that we're going through as a world, and the important thing for me, when Kara left this world, and with all grief is that I needed to choose to grow rather than shrink from adversity, from challenge, from obstacles, no matter what that might look like. And, life can suck, but I can't let it suck me under. And, that's the purpose of this book. And 100% of the proceeds of Giving Grief Meaning go to the Care Love Project to continue supporting organizations, like Dee Jackson Foundation. You guys are doing great work. And the book is very similar to the cards that we went through last time. The book is the name work in written form. So it tells my story personally of moving through addiction, loss, all the obstacles that I faced in my individual life. And when Kara was gone, all I had left was her name. And her name was spelled Kara. And very organically, I found qualities in her name, and I chose to live by those qualities, for them to be my North Star, if you will. Kara, kindness, alignment, regeneration, and action. And I think I want to say to everyone today, it's all about being kind to the self. You know, when you get on a plane, they say, put on the oxygen mask for yourself first. And that's what we all need to do. Because if we can't be kind to ourselves first, if we can't be kind to ourselves first, we can't be kind to other human beings or the environment. And we all could use a little bit more kindness right now. Right? I mean, it's nuts. I mean, just not even to be able to meet with you.
Yeah.
I mean, we're forced
it's
into
a crazy time, that's for
Yeah.
sure. It's a
Yeah.
crazy time. I want to ask you a question. When you were just speaking, you mentioned when Kara left the world.
Yes.
That's an interesting way to phrase it. I don't want to
Yes.
say phrase it, but is that how you feel versus losing her? Because I kind of pay attention to that. I usually use the term when I lost my mother.
Mhm.
But I guess it also depends how they pass. So I just wanted to know how you landed there when referring to the loss of your daughter.
That's a beautiful question. You know, I guess although she's not here in this world, you know, you hear about the other side of the veil. You know, I she's with me somehow. She's not here, but I believe that she's been a guiding force in my life, a guiding a presence of good. And and so when I look to her name, um and I look to the qualities, particularly the quality of kindness, you know, I'm guided to my highest good. So even when I'm not feeling great about the world, I can act as if the world is a loving place. And somewhere in my grief, you know, my grief took me to Nepal to visit children in an orphanage called the Unati Foundation. When I came back, I realized, well, it was in Nepal, I realized that I could help other people use their names or the name of someone they loved and lost to find their own North Star, their own way, their own map towards healing. And you know, the book is about affirmations, you know, positive affirmations that move us towards the good. And that doesn't mean that things don't look messy or sad. We just, there's no wrong or right way to go through this grieving process. We just have to be with whatever we're feeling in the moment and not judge ourselves so harshly. Society tells us we're supposed to be happy all the time. And that's not true. We're humans. We feel a complex array of emotions, right? And we're all in it, and we're all in it together. And I'm just
Yeah.
so glad to be here with you. I mean,
Oh,
yeah.
it's beautiful seeing you, Lily. You're like a staple for us. So we
Thank you.
appreciate you joining
Thank
us.
you.
It's obvious that we're in a tough time collectively with
Yes.
everything that's going on. You know, people are losing family members and friends, or you know, even if it's not lost through death because of COVID, it's people are their health is at risk, and we've lost a lot. Saying that, are there any methods or tips or tools you advise for people to get through this difficult time or through any type of trauma they may be experiencing?
That is another great question. You know, so often feel, or as a society, we feel like, oh wow, there's something wrong with me. I need to fix myself. I need to get better at something, better, stronger, faster. And the truth of the matter is that we have everything we need in this given moment. I have everything I need, and sometimes it's as simple. It seems like overly simplistic, but if I just can drop in to my own heartbeat, my own breath, my own embodiment, it might not feel perfect, but you know, I know fundamentally that I'm okay because I'm alive, and being alive is a miracle. So um, I invite you right now just to take 3 breaths with me, and the people who are out there to just take 3 breaths and just tap in. In your own time. In your own way. I'm just feeling my heartbeat and breath and coming into the moment. I notice feelings, sensations, sounds, and just slowing down. Just opening the eyes. All it takes is just a couple seconds to just tune in. I mean, we're so busy, we don't have time. But all it takes is just a couple minutes to recharge, regenerate, be kind,
To recalibrate.
recalibrate.
Yes. I love that. And I am often guilty of exactly that, being so busy doing too many things that I don't recalibrate. I don't freeze time. And it's cool because Taj, the good big brother he is, he checks in and sees how I'm doing and making sure I try. But I'm guilty of it. And it's one of my main goals is doing meditation more and just slowing down and being at one with myself. So I actually really appreciate you doing that right now. Wasn't planned, but just doing it to show the importance of it. You know, I don't think most guests would do it live in here, letting people know it's something you need to do when you feel it. So I appreciate that, Lily.
Thank you. And
Yeah. Were you going to say something? I didn't want to cut you off.
yes, I was going to say, you know, since we're so busy and life has become so uncertain, sometimes it's just taking that time when you're in the shower or brushing your teeth. Um, it doesn't have to be a big ceremony with candles or on a cushion somewhere in a yoga studio. We can start right where we're at and just taking that time to feel my heartbeat and breath and tap into the wonder of being alive,
Mm,
in this moment. And in that moment, there's nothing to fix. There's a part of us that knows nothing of hurt, harm, or endangerment. Um, it doesn't mean that we feel good all the time, but if we move towards these positive practices, when I move towards the light, when I act as if um, somehow my grief, my pain, my suffering, our grief, our pain, our suffering becomes more manageable.
mm, mm. As I mentioned earlier, Lily, you've lost a beautiful angel. Kara was just 2 months old, um, in a very difficult way. Um, what would you advise people who may be dealing with a similar loss, a sudden loss? I think many people are losing loved ones suddenly due to COVID. It wasn't planned. Even some people who may be pretty healthy are losing lives. So, what do you tell to those who may be dealing with a sudden loss that they had no foresight of seeing?
You know, sudden loss just knocks us past our knees. And, grief, suffering, it abates in its own time. And all I could do at that time was take the advice of Reverend Michael Beckwith and other friends on the path and choose to grow rather than shrink. And one of the things we would sing at Agape International Spiritual Center is, the seed needs the darkness to change into new life. I think that's a biblical verse. I'm not really good at my passages, but we do need, there is an incubation period, and there's no, panacea to take away suffering. Suffering is suffering. We all suffer, some more than others, and it's having the courage to feel my heartbeat, feel my breath, and from that space to act as if to move towards the light, even when I don't feel it. And pain, sometimes people feel tethered to the calendar. Oh, it's been, I remember in the early phases being like, it's been 10 days since she's been gone, since she's been gone. Oh, 20 days. And I couldn't stop counting. And I would beat myself up so harshly for counting. Why can't, or not counting if I would forget a day. Those things abate in their own times when we allow ourselves to rest in what is. And eventually that sorrow, that type of sorrow abates. And by being willing to touch my own suffering and bear witness to the suffering of others, I'm able to hold space also for a more authentic joy. My joy becomes more real. It's not just like affirming like, oh, I'm happy. Oh, I'm at peace when I'm not. It's like, no, I'm incubating in whatever is. I'm not pushing anything away. And by allowing it to be, I can move into a more authentic space to make the affirmations that are in the book, that are in the cards. And I'm just happy to be on the journey with other people, that are working towards healing and helping.
I love how you are stressing the importance of tuning in and being present. I have another question for you. In writing, what do you drink? Is that coffee? Lily, drinking?
Oh, you cut out a little bit. I don't know.
It is coffee. Yeah.
It is coffee. I was wondering what you were drinking. Did you know that coffee is an antioxidant?
Oh my gosh. I unconsciously took a sip of my coffee.
I loved it.
I'm so comfortable. I feel like I'm in the living room with you guys.
You are.
Well,
you should be comfortable.
You're in the living room with us, but I'm in a McDonald's parking lot.
Oh
but
my
I
gosh.
feel comfortable too, Lily. And I love that. I'm this is what I'm taking away from our talk is the importance of just being present and just being comfortable in your situation. And I think it's beautiful.
Right. Comfort with discomfort, becoming comfortable with my own discomfort and not judging my discomfort like there's something to fix. Because there's nothing to fix with you. There's nothing to fix with me.
How did you, I assume it's everything you've went through, all the learning, but how can someone get to that place mentally? Because it's, my best friend lost his mother a little over a week ago. And it obviously was a loss for me, but there's nothing like losing your mother as a young male. And, my heart's breaking for him. And I don't want to get too personal, but, when I recently spoke to him, it's so tough, for him. And I'm curious to know, what would you tell, how do you get people to get to that place mentally, and as a friend, is there anything you advise me to do to tell him to help with his grieving process? Because I love the way you dealt with real loss, and I'm trying to find the right words. It never gets easy for me to help people when they're dealing with loss. So I'm wondering, what do you advise someone like me, whose best friend lost their mother, who's struggling getting to that place where they're comfortable, not getting comfortable with the discomfort?
We're all together on the healing journey, human to human. And I think the most important thing we can express to our friends who are grieving is, first of all, to say something, not to shy away for fear of saying the wrong thing. Ram Dass, one of the writers of the first self-help book, Be Here Now, who's a teacher of mine, said, we're all just walking each other home. That's all we're really doing is, sharing those parts of ourselves and being present to each other in order that we can help each other heal and grow. And that's the purpose of being human, to me, is these authentic connections. And so many of us are mourning the loss of just that connection through COVID. We can't be together. We can't shake hands, hug one another, break bread together. And, during COVID, it's even harder, but I think just your willingness to bear witness to his grief and being knowing that you're touching your own grief as you're helping him, that parts of your own grief, that because grief is like the deep, like the ocean, we can't really fathom its depths. And maybe there's a blessing there in that you're able to touch parts of your grief that had been locked off. I know I haven't touched every part of my own grief. It's so deep and profound. So I would just tell him, I'm here for you. I wish I could take away the pain. I can't, it's just, there's no way around. We have to move through it. But by moving through it, we come to embrace our ordinary human condition, which is a beautiful thing. Just being here, 3 people in our ordinariness, on is it a Wednesday or a Wednesday afternoon?
Yeah, it's a Wednesday.
Just hanging out together.
In writing your book that came out yesterday, everyone, Giving Grief Meaning.
Yes.
First of all, how can people get this book? Is it?
I know
your website.
You can order it on Amazon.
Okay.
The first shipment on Amazon, they've sold through that. So some excited wholesalers have gotten, and you can still order it from them. You can go on barnesandnoble.com. Mango Publishing has it. You can come visit my website, lilidulan.com, and Lily. Oh, it's up there. You got it up there for me.
Hey, I may be in a McDonald's parking lot, but I still got the
you did it.
put up there.
This book is a part of the larger healing. I'll hold it. The larger healing message, as are the cards, as are the work of the D.D. Jackson Foundation, the work of the Cara Love Project. It's about utilizing tools, finding wellness tools. This book is a cocktail of the wellness tools that have worked for me, and all of them are evidence-based. I just put them together in a unique Lily way, and hopefully readers out there will put the tools I've given out in their own unique way and bring them out into the world as we pay it forward and we work, towards meaningful change, meaningful connection, because it's uncertain out there, and what are we going to do? All we can do is really reach out in friendship to one another, like you're doing with your friend, like we're doing today. And hopefully, this talk helps alleviate some suffering. And, I hope you'll all come onto the website, that we can break bread together in real time, post-COVID, all that.
Yeah.
It's good to be here.
Todd, do you have a question?
Yeah, I do have a question. I know that you just released the book, but is there going to be an audio version?
I love
you
it.
You have such a great voice, Lily, as well, and your attitude. That's why I'm asking, because I'm one of those people that love hearing the author or someone speak, because I kind of get more out of it sometimes than just me reading the words. Like I hear the excitement or the pain or whatever. I hear that through the person the narrator in that way.
Yes.
So that was my question.
I'd like to speak to that because that is very, very important. Some people are auditory learners. Some people are visual learners. They're all different learning styles. And so, the affirmations, there are A through Z affirmations in the book.
Yeah.
But, maybe hearing an affirmation aloud doesn't really, that's not going to do it for you. So say, okay, I want to bring more confidence into my life. Say I affirm for confidence, like my new lifestyle brings confidence. My willingness to reach out to others brings confidence into my life. But say those words sort of fall flat because I don't learn that way, I can then go on the internet and look at pictures of what confidence means to me. You know, this is a vision board with words.
Yeah.
You can use these words and then create a visual for yourself, or you are all musicians. So what songs speak to you? What songs spell out confidence to you? You know, this is a springboard to a way of life.
Exactly. That's great.
I have a question,
Yes.
Lily. In writing your book, Giving Grief Meaning,
Yes.
what did you learn anything in the process?
In writing
Anything
the
new
book.
in the writing process?
You know, I recently on my Maya Angelou said, you know, there's no greater pain than an untold story inside of you. And I think, you know, and Reverend Michael Beckwith says, the pain pushes until the vision pulls. So, you know, for me, it was quieting myself for step one, quiet the chatter, come into the heartbeat and breath. Acknowledge there's nothing to fix, that I'm okay just where I am. You know, another teacher of mine says pain is the healing, you know, that there is healing. That's the body's way of healing. So that's step one. And then once I allow that to happen, I can allow for a flow, get into a flow. I was blocked. I wanted to write. I wanted to express my pain for like 8 years. But I needed to get out of my own way. I mean, I was moving towards the light, but I wasn't, you know, pain abates in its own time. So I guess from the writing process, I learned, you know, I also learned where my gaps are. You know, like I'd like to study more about the body mind connection. There's so many studies right now about the trauma that gets stuck in the body. And so I think I've just scratched the surface there with tapping into the breath, tapping into my heartbeat. There's so much more there. I was listening to a podcast last night. I wish I could tell you who podcasted it. When I do, I'll let you know, because I think she'd be great on the show. But moving, you know, just moving around and moving the body can help that, you know, help us be with nervous energy. So all the gaps I learned from the writing process that I have.
I think that's, you've dropped some pretty important gems, from the moving to writing, to even having the quest to continue the process of learning. I think is very powerful, Lily. I know you've mentioned we can get the book on Amazon. The name work, the deck of cards, that's from your website, correct?
Yes. I also have an Instagram handle, Lili DULAN. So lilidulan.com. You can find me on Instagram under Lili DULAN. It's there on the screen.
Okay.
At LILYDULAN.com. And, you know, and just knowing that this work is part of a larger healing journey. And, you know, I hope the book does really well, because 100% of the proceeds are going to the Care Love Project, the Care Love Project, to continue this work. And, you know, in the future, we're going to be training people to teach this work. And I hope there'll be studies in the future done on this work, you know, at the university level, so that it can go into hospitals, schools, prisons, you know, so that people have the tools. And really, I mean, if you really want to know the secret, you don't need to get the book. If you just come into your own heartbeat and breath and are okay with that. I mean, I know that's kind of, yeah, don't get my book, reverse psychology, da da da. But really, we're okay where we are. There's nothing to fix. There really isn't. So if my book teaches you that there's nothing to fix, that you're okay where you are, use the affirmations, use the tools, come to your own heartbeat and breath. If that's what you learn, if it stops the search and tells you you're okay, then I've done my work.
100%. That's powerful, and that's important stuff. I think oftentimes when we deal with a loss, we get into a mindset that our world will never be, or our world significantly got worse and will never return to what it was. And I think you do a great job of articulating the importance of getting comfortable with your new you, and trying to find some strong meaning with it, in the process. It's beautiful.
I love that, getting comfortable with your new you.
Yeah.
That is so deep.
That's what I'm taking from you, Lily. That's what you're telling me, and I appreciate it.
With me today.
Yeah.
Much.
You're breaking up a little.
You're cutting out. Now it's just going like garble, 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 garble.
Well, Lily, we could hear you well, and we're almost at 40 minutes anyway, so we're gonna wrap up. But the one thing as you know, this being your third time with us, we like to give our guests, up to a minute to talk about whatever they want to close the show. So
I hear a little bit.
Can you hear us?
Now I do.
Okay.
Well, first of all, 3 times the charm.
Yes.
3 times the charm. And, I just, wherever you are out there in this world of Instagram, StreamYard.com land, YouTube, there's nothing in you to fix. You're okay in your own life, in your own embodiment. All is fundamentally okay. We have a myth that the ground is solid. Things are changing, and I think we can all see that through this pandemic. And so no matter what you're feeling, move towards the light. Act as if the world is a good place, even when you can't feel it, even when you can't see it. And, I hope you'll explore more. Come find me on LiliDULAN.com. Come find me through the Care of Love Project. I hope to connect, and I'll be giving workshops via Zoom. We've got 2 workshops coming up. One with Insight LA with Trudy Goodman, and Meta World Peace, who is a huge wellness warrior and a former NBA champ. So I'm so excited to be with Trudy, who's the founder of Insight LA, on December the 12th. And then on December the 10th, we have a lunchtime pause break with Project Angel Food and Michael Beckwith. And we're going to feed people through this work. And when you buy a copy of the book through both of these stellar organizations, I hope you'll come out and join me on either December 10th or the 12th. You can go to LiliDULAN.com and find out more about these things. And I hope to fundraise with Dee Dee Jackson soon too, some more. And you can expect a donation through Care of Love Project. You guys do incredible work to be of service, to be out there talking to people every week, doing your own grief healing, continuing to learn. Like, I'm inspired by you guys. Anyone who's doing this powerful work.
It's work that's important and necessary, and it comes from the heart, and that's something that we love about you, Lily. You come from the heart. You're navigating through incredible loss in life, and you do it graciously and with the heart of sharing and helping others. So again, on behalf of my brothers and the foundation, we want to thank you for being you, and for being on our show 3 times, and being such a great supporter of our foundation. And we wish you the best with everything. Again, to everyone watching or listening, Giving Grief Meaning is Lily's most recent book. It came out yesterday. You can get it on Amazon.com. It is sold out at the moment, but still go there. I'm sure you can. There's a button you can click that says when it's back in stock. You can, be the first one to be notified. But yes, and that's something that I think everyone is so quick to get some type of improvement on their career or on how to do a skill. But when it comes to dealing with grief and loss, we tend to forget about it. And I think it's important to read these kind of books and so pick one up and get to reading and really help yourself be prepared for a serious loss, or if you've dealt with one, learn how to get through it and live the best life possible.
Yes, and even there the losses of COVID too. Just not even physical loss, like you were saying at the beginning. All kinds of loss of possibilities, loss of job. It's for everything.
Nice.
Yes. All right, everyone. On behalf of Taj, DDJF, and the beautiful Lili DULAN, I just want to thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. If you're listening to us, we will be back next Wednesday at 1 p.m. Please be safe. Take care of yourself and always lead with love. Until next week at 1 p.m. Adios, everyone, and stay